Well, now for one of the hottest topics in D.C., the Bush-era tax cuts turning into the next big battle on Capitol Hill. It is the next big issue. President Obama wants to let these tax cuts expire. That would let taxes go up for the wealthiest of Americans. But at least one Democrat disagrees with that, and he's not alone. Congressman Connolly of Virginia joins us now. So, Congressman, why break with your party and why disagree with the president on this one?
Well, I respectfully disagree with the rationale. We're at a very fragile point in the economic recovery right now, and I think we ought to leave well enough alone for now. I don't think this economy can take any kind of severe hit. When you allow the tax cuts to expire on a relatively small but highly influential group in the economy, it can affect confidence in the consuming public.
Sure.
It can absolutely affect economic performance. A stunning statistic, Jenna, is that the top 5% income earners generate 30% of consumer activity. We can't afford to be negatively affecting that right now.
Well, I want to pick up on 2 points there. One, starting with the wealthy. Your district is actually one of the wealthiest in the entire nation. How does that influence your thought on letting these tax cuts not expire at the end of this year?
Well, I think it informs me because I certainly hear from them. These are men and women who are working, but they tend to be in higher income, high-tech jobs that our economy has generated in Northern Virginia very successfully. And frankly, the United States needs people like them to return to the consumer economy if we're going to have a much more robust recovery than we have right now.
The other point is on the timeline. You know, these expiration dates were put in for a reason. Republicans put these expiration dates in similar to the way that you have an expiration date on a carton of milk. After a certain date, the milk goes bad. After a certain date, these tax cuts, the Republicans realize, really adding to the deficit, and that's what we're seeing. So if you're going to move that expiration date, where are you going to move it, and how are you going to get the rest of your colleagues to actually, swallow what this change could actually bring?
Some of my Democratic colleagues in the Senate have suggested an extension of a year or two to get us over the hump and to make sure that we're in a sustainable, robust recovery. I think that's a reasonable proposition.
So what does that mean? Seeing job growth, for example? I mean, what would you have to see? Would you have to see GDP growth? Would you have to see jobs growth? What do you mean by seeing a sustainable recovery?
I think we'd have to see much more progress in job generation, more of a reduction in the unemployment rate, and more sustained trend lines in terms of consumer confidence in the economy.
Congressman, what's been the reaction from your colleagues that disagree with you on this?
Well, obviously, my position isn't universally popular in my side of the aisle, but what I'm saying is Democrats need to look at their ideological biases, just as I think Republicans should have looked at theirs on the issue of unemployment insurance extension. The same economic arguments pertain. The economy is too fragile right now to be having big jolts. It was too fragile to have 2.4 million people lose their unemployment insurance at this time, and it's similarly too fragile to have a whole class of people have their taxes raised at this time.
So you're going to vote no if the Democrats try to move some legislation through the House that says that we're going to let the tax cuts expire for the wealthy and keep the tax cuts for the middle class, those making under $250,000. Are you voting no?
Well, Jenna, I'm not going to vote no to deny classes of Americans an extension of their tax cuts. I'm hoping I'll get a free vote, a freestanding vote on this issue of whether or not we want to extend the tax cuts to this class of American taxpayers. And I'm certainly going to argue that we deserve a separate vote on it.
All right, Congressman, really appreciate your insight today, and looking forward to talking to you again. Congressman Connolly.
Thank you, Jenna.
From Virginia. John?